Just made yourself a turkey sandwich. Delicious. Lady is also eating turkey as well. Next week's movie is Vampire Zombies from Space. Nice. Next Saturday's movie is going to be, I think it's going to be Halloween 3, but I'm not sure yet. We are going to be doing, hi Landon, how are you? We are going to be doing a movie in the Discord on Saturday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. It's going to be a Tommy Lee Wallace. For those of you that don't know who Tommy Lee Wallace is, tune in next Sunday for some great information, and you'll get to know who he is. I missed movie night. I got hooked on Midsummer. No worries, lady. It's all good. Honey roasted, delicious, delicious SSJ. Hi, Wickedy. How are you? Good morning, everybody. Season of the Bitch. Yes, it is. Yes, it is indeed. Welcome to Coffee Chat of Horrors. We're going to get started here in just a few moments. I thought I would watch on Rumble for a change. I don't know many who stream on Rumble. I know quite a few who stream on Rumble. A lot of ex-Mixer people stream on Rumble nowadays. You just have to find them. I really love the platform. You love 3? I do too. I love Halloween 3 myself. I think it's a great movie. I never not liked it, right? Like, even when it came out, I was not one of those people that hated it. Maybe because I'm not a ginormous Michael Myers fan. I don't know. I mean, I like Michael. He's awesome. He's cold. He's calculated. He's scary. But I don't know. I don't know. I just really liked 3. Rumble seems to be where it's at. Yeah, definitely. I know you really like it here too, Serial. So do I. Halloween 3 is fun. I like it. Nice, Wickedy. Yeah, Lady Cigar is having some turkey sandwiches too. It's delicious. I like turkey. All right. Excuse me, but I am new here. Hello, Mischief. Welcome to the Rumble side of things. Rumble is very basic. It's YouTube. It's like YouTube, but it's a bit different. It's like what YouTube used to be like if you were on YouTube back in the day. So not all the bells and whistles that YouTube has just yet, but I love it here. Rumble is my home to stream. I multi-stream sometimes, but Rumble is the best. I would agree with you, Mr. Rippers. 100%. I still haven't followed everybody from Beam Mixer. Still catching up with that. Yeah, there's quite a few of us on Rumble, though. I know you're a huge Myers fan, but I also understand the movie was supposed to be an anthology like Creepshow. You're right. It was supposed to be an anthology, but back then people didn't know that, right? People didn't have Google. We didn't have all the stuff that we have nowadays to tell us that it was supposed to be an anthology. So people thought they were getting Michael Myers again. So I understand where the hate comes from. Hi, Naomi. How are you? Hey, Joshua. Thank you for your 3-stream streak. Much appreciated. Happy Sunday. I still don't understand how on Halloween 3 that guy with the white hair just turns into a cartoon and disappears. Well, we will discuss Halloween 3 next Sunday. Well, not all of Halloween 3. It's a Tommy Lee Wallace deep dive is what we're going to be doing. Next Sunday. So our grave robber admitted to stealing skulls and corpses. I see nothing wrong with that. No. You shouldn't be stealing people's bodies. You should steal your own family's bodies. But yeah, grave robbing, people frown upon that. You know what I mean? And for a good reason. Leave, those people's bodies alone. Especially if they're not your bodies. Yeah, I'm good, Joshua. We're about to start Coffee Chat of Horrors. Good morning, Anita. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. If you're new here to CCOH, this is a live deep dive, meaning that you get to be a part of the experience. We are going to talk about House of a Thousand Corpses. We're actually going to deep dive deep into all of it. You can ask questions. You can chat among yourselves. There's also audience participation in all of our discussion. I think we joined Rumble at the same time. Either I told you about Rumble or you told me. I'm not too sure. Well, I found out from Rumble by Vapin Gamers, who's a really good friend of mine that I've known for 9 years. And I met him on Beam. He told me about Rumble. And then, of course, I was telling everybody about Rumble. We do have a Coffee Chat of Horrors channel, guys, over on Rumble. So make sure you follow it. Yeah, only steal your own family members' corpses. Exactly, Serial. Steal your own family's corpses. Don't steal other people's. Kirby, how are you? Thank you so very much. Starting to wear my hair all natural again. instead of straightening it, trying to tame the beast, because it's very beasty hair. All right, let's get into CCOH. We do have our disclaimer because sometimes the stuff we talk about can traumatize you. Hello, Carlos. How are you?
Who likes scary movies and coffee?
The following show is based on research on horror movies and what goes on behind the scenes of your favorite scary movies. Horde Entertainment or ReAnimateHer is not responsible for the macabre and horror that you are about to witness. Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm still waiting to make that disclaimer on a t-shirt. Yeah, only steal your own. Joe thought that was obvious. Oh, that should be obvious. Only steal your own family. Thank you, Nanita. I appreciate that. Ghoul day, my creepies, and welcome back to Coffee Chat of Horrors. This is a show where we sit down, we pour a cup, and dissect the films that didn't just scare us, but they changed us. Today's film didn't just divide audiences, it nearly never saw the light of day. Banned, buried, resurrected, and reborn as a cult nightmare. Today, we're diving headfirst into Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses, a film so chaotic, so controversial, and so unhinged that even its creator wasn't sure if the world was ready for it. Yeah, no worries, no worries. The most shocking tale of carnage ever seen that wasn't just a tagline, it was a warning. Only the cosmos knows how many spirits that grave robber pissed off. Oh, probably lots, lady. Probably lots. That would be a great merch on a t-shirt. Rippers, it's coming. It is coming. I created that, so I have to make it big enough to be put on a t-shirt. I have a problem with that. Shredded condoms and KY jelly effects again. Close. There is some KY jelly up in here. There is some KY jelly. And I know some of you guys have seen House of a Thousand Corpses, and there are some characters that you were unsure about or wanted more of a backstory. I do have information for you on Dr. Satan. Trauma? Never heard of her. House of a Thousand Corpses was released on April 11th, 2003 with a $7 million budget and a $16 million worldwide box office. House of a Thousand Corpses is Rob Zombie's filthy, frantic love letter to 1970s horror, but behind the face paint, the fried chicken, and roadside terror lies a film plagued by studio fear, lost footage, extreme censorship, and a 3-year burial before finally clawing its way into cult history. Have you guys seen House of a Thousand Corpses in theaters, or did you guys see it when it came out on DVD? Who here has seen it, like, was going to the movies and checking it out? Fried chicken is delicious. It is definitely delicious. And yeah, Mischief Maker, you're not wrong. Every Hollywood movie that's made has KY jelly. I wonder if they get it from P. Diddy. You know, P. Diddy's got all his baby oil and shit, so. And stolen characters and actors from other movies. Yes, actually, Serial. We're gonna dive into that. There is a lot of information based upon movies that was inspired by, and we have a whole section dedicated to actually talking about that. DVD, nice. VHS, right on. I have seen it on DVD. I have a confession. I only saw this movie when drunk, so I barely remember it. Arthur. You needs to see it. It's a good movie. DVD. Nice. So the movie House of a Thousand Corpses takes place October 30th, 1977. So everybody is aware of that one. You saw it on Tubi. Nice, Mischief Maker. Well, we have a lot of information for you today, so I'm excited to bring House of a Thousand Corpses and information for you guys. So after designing a haunted maze for Universal Studios in 1999, Rob Zombie planned a new attraction for the following year called House of a Thousand Corpses. During a casual studio meeting, he was asked if he had any movie ideas. Zombie made one up on the spot. Universal liked it. He went home, wrote a 12-page treatment, and 2 months later, cameras were rolling. So he didn't even have this movie raring or ready to go. He was creating a maze and attraction for Universal Studios, and he planned to name the maze House of a Thousand Corpses. It wasn't even a movie yet. It wasn't even in conception yet. And it didn't happen until he sat down with movie execs and they were like, "Do you have a move? Do you have anything in the works? Anything coming?" And he said, "Yep." And utilized House of a Thousand Corpses. Now, a lot of you may be like, okay, so in the time he had this meeting to writing 12 pages, literally cameras were rolling in 2 months. That was in 1999. The movie didn't get released until 2003. It probably made sense being drunk. Oh, it makes sense without being drunk. It's a psychotic family. Ironically, when the haunted house attraction opened in 2000, the film had already been shelved, forcing the attraction to be renamed American Nightmare. Now, if you've seen House of a Thousand Corpses, would you survive a maze that was set up to be like House of a Thousand Corpses? Would you be able to survive it? Or no, would you chicken out? I think I'd be able to survive it. I think I'd be able to go around and literally just love everything about it. Being designed by Rob Zombie, yeah, I think I'd be able to. I think I'd survive it, not a problem. Myself. I would make so many puddles on myself. American Nightmare wouldn't have been a bad movie title. No, it would not have been a bad movie title. There was the American Massacre, which was Tobe Hooper's son's version or like part of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre universe. We do know that TCM, among many other movies, were an inspiration for House of a Thousand Corpses. But people say he stole. I don't know. I say he was inspired by. And I say he's inspired by. But there is a movie that Sid Haig was in that back in the day, it's an older movie that is almost on par with what happened in A House of a Thousand Corpses. Now, I haven't seen this movie yet, so I can't make my judgment, and I didn't have time to watch it beforehand. Well, not only The Hills Have Eyes, but there are numerous inspirations, serial killers. So people think Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Hills Have Eyes are the only two inspirations, but there isn't. There is about 8 movies in total, and one that Sid Haig was in back in the 1960s and 1970s called Spider Baby, I believe it was called. I don't know. We'll get to that information, but that was also inspired. I'm shocked Rob hasn't made a TV show, but American Horror took the section of TV. Yeah, American Horror is good. I would say inspired if he didn't get the same actors to play pretty much the same characters. Well, but the family, Firefly family, wasn't really cannibals. They were necrophiliacs, right? They weren't, they weren't cannibals. They weren't eating people per se. They liked murdering them and making things out of their bodies and having sex with their dead bodies, right? So they're more of a necro family than anything when you come down to it. The whole, I like to make things out of their bodies. Sure, Texas Chainsaw Massacre all the fucking way. Because we definitely know that that's what they did. But they ate them in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right? And yeah, Otis. You know, Otis was inspired by Marilyn Manson and a preacher. Yeah, that's where he got the idea for Otis. Now, Universal Pictures finished the movie in 2000, but refused to release it, convinced the MPAA would slap it with an NC-17 rating. The film sat unreleased for 3 years. Zombie bought the rights back, sold them to MGM, who also refused to release it after Zombie made a joke saying they have no morals for buying it. So Zombie bought it back again, sold it to Lionsgate, and House of a Thousand Corpses was finally unleashed in 2003. So it took that long to get this movie released. It was conceived in 1999, written within 1999, started filming right after, like 2 months after he wrote the script, but it was shelved because nobody wanted to touch it. He had to remove over 89 minutes of this movie. And this is where the lost footage comes in, because there is some crazy shit. And we're going to go over that as well. Some of it is very graphic, and I can see why they ended up removing it. Other parts, I was just like, that sucks. That sucks. Hi, Slipknot. How are you? Sid Haig was the first and only choice for Captain Spaulding. Rob Zombie didn't want anybody else for the role. He said this role would be perfect for Sid. Now, Sid had played roles similar to this beforehand in his career, earlier on in his career. It was just his wife dancing. Yeah, 89 minutes. No, it wasn't his wife dancing. It was a bit more than just dancing. Rob Zombie makes a cameo as Dr. Wolfenstein's assistant, briefly smashing a pumpkin. So if you've seen this movie as many times as I have, there is a scene where... So Rob Zombie was supposed to be Dr. Wolfenstein, but he didn't think he could do the part. So he had somebody else do the part of Dr. Wolfenstein. And he became the assistant. So there's a guy that's actually smashing shit, like smashing a pumpkin. That is Rob Zombie himself. Also, Rob Zombie and Spider-1, his brother, make appearances throughout this movie. You doing all right, Slipknot? That's great. That's awesome. Bill Moseley plays Otis and the news anchor reporting on the missing cheerleaders. I don't know if anybody caught that when watching it. So not only is he playing Otis Driftwood, but he is also the news reporter. And the posters of the two missing boys that appear repeatedly throughout the movie, those pictures are actually of Rob Zombie and his brother Spider-1 as kids. Zombie really should have played Dr. Satan, right? Right? I'll tell you who played Dr. Satan here in a little bit. He was actually the makeup designer, a special effects guy who actually played Dr. Satan. And Dr. Satan was supposed to be in Devil's Rejects, but they removed him. They removed him from that. Grandpa Hugo, actor Dennis Fimple, was actually eating during every take he was in. He was also extremely ill. He had heart issues, and he passed away a year before the movie was released. Grandpa Hugo was a funny motherfucker. If you watched House of a Thousand Corpses, his hair was insane. Kind of reminds you of Grandpa Munster. He was very vulgar. He had a lot of fun stuff. He had a lot of fun stuff that he was saying in the movie. By the way, is clown's name? Captain Spaulding was the clown's name. Captain Spaulding. Now, do you guys feel that Captain Spaulding is a horror icon, or is he pure nightmare fuel? To me, the way he is in House of a Thousand Corpses, he isn't overly scary for me in that film. I mean, he looks disgusting and he looks like he'd be a dirty clown, you know what I mean? But I don't think he is nightmare fuel for me. I think he's a horror icon for sure. I mean, you can't put him up on the same level as like Michael and all of those guys. Those guys are like the Mount Rushmore. But I do believe he is a horror icon for sure. Sideshow freak, yeah. Thank you, Speedy. I appreciate that. I'm excited. The film was originally far more extreme. And we're going to get into some of the extreme stuff right now. But there was a lot that was cut. 89 minutes were cut from this movie, just because of how gruesome and shocking this footage was, and most likely the MPAA would have given it an X rating. The Sid Haig performance was amazing. Yeah, I say he did an amazing job playing that role. I mean, I love Sid. I want to know his fried chicken recipe. I know the fried chicken always looked good, right? So Rob Zombie confirmed much of the cut footage focused on baby Firefly, including longer and more graphic necrophilia scenes that went far beyond what the MPAA would allow. There is a scene that is cut. We have not seen it. And it is of baby Firefly masturbating with a skeleton hand and actually climaxing with the masturbation. There is also another part where Otis Driftwood is doing the dirty, and things were, a little crazy, lots of blood, but it was removed. Now if you guys remember the movie, there was like a montage of scenes that would, like, one scene here would be baby with one of the girls, and then it would like rough cut to another scene with Otis Driftwood and rough cut back to another. That's in those areas where that should have been placed. So that like montage of baby and Otis going back and forth, that is where those were supposed to be. Grandpa was Sam Kinison. Yeah, he acted like Sam. And Sideshow Freak. Well, you weren't too far off when you said the cut footage of Sherry. Nope. Tough. Icon, I don't think so, but definitely has a place. The movies are forgettable unless you are a zombie fan. To a casual or even a person like myself, they're just movies I watched with mediocre entertainment value. Yeah, I like Rob Zombie, and I really enjoy House of a Thousand Corpse. I actually enjoy. I really would have. I want to love Three from Hell, but I couldn't. But Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpse are two of my favorite movies. I'm not a ginormous Rob Zombie fan, but I love his creativity. I like where his mind is. I like how he visually. I love the grindhouse look. I enjoy all of that he puts together. And as somebody who loves movies, I don't know. Hard to love. Yeah, it is really hard to love Three from Hell or 31. Yeah, 31 I thought was lazy. I thought it was lazy. Yeah, I thought 31 was lazy. My favorite actually is The Munsters. Yeah, no, not mine at all. That was mediocre for me though, Stereo. What ruined it for me was Sherry Moon Zombie as Lily. I don't think she did a good job at all. Not at all. I didn't care for the Munsters by Rob Zombie. I mean, it wasn't horrible. It was a one-time watch for me. That's about it. And I actually fell asleep during it and then had to rewind it and watch it from the spot that I fell asleep at. But yeah, definitely one and done. Yeah, 100%. And I'm a Rob Zombie fan. But again, like I said, I didn't care for the Munsters. I understand that he loves his wife lots. I never finished it. I fell asleep. Yeah. Sherry should have been Marilyn, 100%. 100%. I think that's would have made it better. I think it would have made it better. So some of the scenes were filmed after principal photography in Zombie's own basement using a 16mm handheld camera with cast members coming over on weekends. So he'd have everyone come over to his house on weekends and film with a handheld camera, 16mm. Remember, they were trying to go for that 70s kind of grindhouse feel, and he nailed it 110%. And this movie actually shows where Zombie has come from in his childhood. We know from my last deep dive on Rob Zombie that he grew up as a carny. Mom and dad were both carnival workers. He worked the carnival. And the only reason why he wasn't working the carnival as an adult was that his parents left the carnival life after a riot broke out and basically could have harmed Zombie, his brother, and both parents. So they left the carny life. And you can literally see that in House of a Thousand Corpse. You can see the whole carnival aesthetic with Captain Spaulding, the clown, the museum, the fried chicken, the gas station, and then he has that whole haunted tunnel of love kind of feel going on. For those of you that don't know, the shop, that gas station / carnival sideshow there, Captain Spaulding has owned it for 7.5 years, if anyone was interested in that. I did not like the guy who played Herman either. Yeah, I can't remember his name right now. Damn it. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't remember his name at the moment. He did okay. He did okay. Zombie also created the opening credits the same way, except for the setting sun shot. So on a 16 millimeter handheld camera in his basement for the most part, recording these scenes. A lot of what you see in the house is also from Rob Zombie or a cheaper production of said items. So in Baby's room, you get to see the poster of the creature from the Black Lagoon, big movie size poster. That one was actually a pre-production one that they created for the set. But there is quite a few of Zombie's own stuff inside that house. Plus, there are scenes that were done inside that house that were inside Zombie's house himself. He was in at least one other Rob Zombie film, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. I can't remember his name. Serial, what is his name? I know you know his name. He was in Christmas, Bloody Christmas, which is one of my favorite Christmas horror movies. I cannot remember his name. He played the chief of police. But like I said, House of a Thousand Corpses was more about necrophilia than it actually is anything else. And there were quite a few scenes that portrayed the necrophilia, but they were cut. Jeff. Yeah, but what's his whole name? Serial? Jeff Daniel Phillips. There we go. Jeff Daniel Phillips. That's the name. Now, I don't know. Like I said, the monsters for me, pretty mediocre. One and done. I like Jeff Daniel Phillips. I really enjoy him in horror as it is. And he is in one of my favorite movies, Christmas, Bloody Christmas. He plays the chief of police. I don't think he did too bad as Herman Munster, but I would have to actually watch it again. And I really don't want to. You love that guy. He helped me so much with doing interviews, both he and Richard Brake. Yeah, Richard Brake is nice. Oh, yeah, they're nice guys in person, for sure. Jeff Daniel was great in person. The movie... You know what I mean? It was okay. He wasn't horrible at playing Herman Munster. Okay, so the Firefly house was previously used in the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas in 1982. Universal refused to stop tram tours, delaying scenes mid-take. And the exterior Firefly compound shots were filmed on the Universal lot alongside the Psycho house. And background noises from the Jaws animatronic ruined multiple takes because Universal refused to stop any of their money-making stuff. So they have tram tours and they refuse to stop them because that's money and they didn't want to stop it so they can record. There is a scene, it's Halloween, it's outside of the house in normal suburbia in House of a Thousand Corpses. And there are kids trick-or-treating. And you're looking out. If you take a close look right down the road, like literally a few houses down, you get to see the Munsters' house. You also get to see Psycho because it's all on the same Universal lot. But, you know, when you're watching the movie, you're not really paying attention in that scene. Remember how I was nervous to do the first panel? Jeff and Richard walked me through it and made it easy for us. Always appreciate him for that and giving us free shit too. They are just so tall. Yeah, they're awesome, Serial. I really had a great time chatting with Jeff and Richard. I think they're both really good people. They're kind people as well. I mean, he did okay as Herman Munster, but I love him as the chief of police in Christmas, Bloody Christmas. I've seen Rob Zombie do a tour of his house. His house is festooned with horror stuff. It is. It is. And some of the scenes in House of a Thousand Corpses were filmed in his house. A lot of the basement scene. So you remember there's some scenes in the basement? That's Zombie's basement. Also, the scene where Tiny is eating Agatha Crispies. The Agatha Crispies, The cereal came from Sherry Moon Zombie. That was her idea. The Munsters never should have been a zombie movie. The Munsters should have never been. Plain and simple. We didn't need another movie. Just leave it alone. Leave it. We got an ad coming in under a minute. Perfect. Thank you, Deadwalk. So we will we have an ad that's going to be happening, so we're going to sidetrack here. I don't like hiding any information behind a paywall, and unfortunately Twitch is the only platform that forces me to run ads where other platforms do not. So I will not go any further. We'll take a short little break for our people who are not subscribed to the channel. I mean, and if you're going to make a monster movie, then you need to have the right actors in place. I honestly did not think we needed a monsters movie. Not at all. I'm shocked Rob haven't looked into making a video game. Well, he has had his hands in a few things, unlike John Carpenter, who loves video games and is in the process of creating one. Well, two, actually. One comes out really soon, and the other one, Halloween, comes out later this year. They were both in Halloween as well. Yes, they have been in a lot of Rob Zombie films. They're friends of Rob Zombie, right? So Rob Zombie always puts his friends in his movies. And he's not the only director to ever do that. Some of the most influential directors in horror have done it. Wes Craven, John Carpenter, tons of directors add their friends into their films, which is quite friggin' cool. I mean, Tommy Lee Wallace, as well. Mick Garris, another great director, which we will be deep diving into as well this month, will be Mick Garris. If you guys don't know who Mick Garris is, come back in the next couple of Sundays and I will teach you who he is. I saw some clips of Rob Zombie's Monsters. Orlok is hilarious. The disco vampire. I did like a few things in the Monsters movie that were not a part of the Monsters, that were created because of Rob Zombie, and I enjoyed that. Which is fine, especially when their friends are really talented. 100%. Johnny Depp is fucking Tim Burton for sure. Johnny Depp is just a great friggin' actor, man. You put him in those scenes and he just blows up. My favorite Johnny Depp film is Dark Shadows. Basement Cat, how are you? I remember the Thing video game on the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 2. It was not a bad game. I love the movie The Thing. Not just, but also family members. 100% SSJ. 100%. I see nothing wrong with directors bringing in friends or family, especially if they fit the role. My biggest issue was, like I said, Sherry Moon Zombie has a place. As Lily Munster, not so much. Yeah, he is, Serial. You're not wrong. I love Johnny Depp. Love Johnny Depp. Like I said, one of my favorite movies of Johnny's is Dark Shadows. There's a TV series called Dark Shadows. My mom was a big fan of it. My niece, her name is Angelique, and she was named from the TV series Dark Shadows because Angelique is in there. And so my mom was a big Dark Shadows fan. Depp just needs to stay away from crazy blondes, right? Yeah, she's a dirty bitch. She's just a dirty crack whore. Yeah, she belongs on a street corner. There was also a Dark Shadows series remake. Yes, there was. Deadwalk. I would highly recommend it if you guys haven't seen it. I'm sorry about my voice. I really don't want to eat one of these lozenges because it's gonna taste gross with coffee. You know what I mean? It just seems the coffee isn't cutting it. Welcome back from that ad, guys. Thank you so much for staying with us. I appreciate you. Know that I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. If you're just joining us, we are discussing House of a Thousand Corpses on Coffee Chat of Horrors. We're going to dive right back into it. And I was telling you guys where I left off at was that Universal refused to stop its tram tours, right? Which caused a lot of issues on the set and recording issues on the set of House of a Thousand Corpses. Now, the film heavily mirrors the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 1974. The gas station warning parallels the rural dread, the unhinged family dynamics. Zombie also drew inspirations from The Hills Have Eyes, 1977, also the 1970s grindhouse horror, as well as the Manson family home movies. There was quite a bit more that they were inspired by different films and different movies throughout the years. One of my favorite I enjoyed Sweeney Todd, Johnny Depp. I didn't mind that at all. I liked Sweeney Todd. I liked everything about the movie as well. And him as Ichabod Crane. He's a great actor. You know what I mean? He's an amazing actor. I don't know. That's why I think I love him lots, is that he's an awesome actor. Oh my goodness gracious. Now I think there's a movie called Spider Baby, and Spider Baby was also a really big inspiration for this movie. Spider Baby is also a Sid Haig movie. Now, this is where I say Zombie took most of his inspiration, if not copied. I don't want to say copied. I didn't get to see Spider Baby. I didn't have a chance to watch it. Maybe we will watch it in the Discord. But Spider Baby starred Sid Haig, who played as Ralph Merry. And it is, I'm going to give you guys the synopsis of Spider Baby, which came out in 1967. Oh, we're also being rated by Bright Gaming. Thank you so much, Bright Gaming. Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, Lon Chaney Jr. also plays in this as well as Bruno. This is where I think primarily is House of a Thousand Corpses. I know a lot of people will say Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I get that. And I see that because of the gas station warning parallels, the rural dread, the unhinged family dynamics. I can see that. But cannibals were Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and the Firefly family were necrophiliacs. Completely different. Hello, 8-Bit. How are you? Thank you so much for the raid, Bright Gaming. What did you do in your stream? What did you do today? So, Spider Baby is about, this is the storyline, in a dilapidated rural mansion, the last generation of the degenerate inbred Mary family lives with the inherited curse of a disease that causes them to mentally regress from the age of 10 or so on as they physically develop. The family chauffeur looks out for them and covers up their indiscretions. Trouble comes when greedy distant relatives and their lawyers arrive to dispose the family of its home. So basically, in Spider Baby, it is a family of cannibals, very similar to TCM in that aspect, and the family dynamics are very, very similar to House of a Thousand Corpses family, Firefly family. Same thing with the way they act, the way they do, the things that they do. I don't want to say that it was a direct copy of, but I want to say it was more heavily inspired by Spider Baby than it was by Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You were playing Mega Man 5 on NES from 1992. Sweet, Bright Gaming. Awesome. If you guys aren't checking out Bright Gaming, please do so. There is a link that I'm going to be popping up in this chat for you guys to go and click on it. Show them some love. During COVID, I plan to watch all 1,225 episodes of Dark Shadows, but I strayed away from the goal after 15 episodes. I still would like to watch them all someday. Well, Slipknot, that is a brave milestone to try to get. That is a lot of episodes. Maybe one day you will get to do it, but more power to you, because oh my God, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot to get through. Ah, yes. How are you doing, 8-Bit? How are you feeling today? Okay. Here's a question for you. House of a Thousand Corpse. Is this an homage, or do you feel it is a straight up horror DNA theft? I do know some people who feel House of a Thousand Corpse was a direct ripoff of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't see that. I don't see that at all. I know some people will say it's a ripoff of The Hills Have Eyes. I still don't see that. I see inspiration of, sure. I don't see it as a ripoff. I don't see it as a copy of. I believe elements, some heavy elements from Texas Chainsaw Massacre and The Hills Have Eyes and the Manson family all play a big role in House of a Thousand Corpse. I can see both sides of the argument. But I can't. I mean, almost as many as One Piece. See, that's where I can't see that, Deadwalk. I can't, because, again, Texas Chainsaw Massacre was about cannibals. House of a Thousand Corpses is about necrophilia. Both have fucked up families. Both have unhinged family members. They're the only direct that I would say that it has is a gas station warning, right? The gas station warning parallels, right? The rural dread. Texas Chainsaw Massacre was out in the rural parts of Texas. Same thing with the Firefly house, right? They both have unhinged family dynamics, but what movie doesn't have unhinged family dynamics when it comes to these types of films? I would definitely say it's more of an homage. There's nothing new. It's how you do it. 100% cannibal. There is nothing new. If there was something new, we would have a whole bunch of new movies and not a bunch of remakes or reimaginings or whatever the fuck you want to call it. A little bit of both. Large inspiration from both, but not a complete ripoff. But he ripped off so much from Tobe Hooper, like TCM and Funhouse. I don't want to say it's ripoff. I definitely want to say definitely inspired by. Tobe always had a weird characters. Yes, he did. Do you know that Tobe Hooper loved House of a Thousand Corpse, and he is friends with was friends with Rob Zombie, and actually asked Sherry Moon Zombie to be in one of his movies? He loved it. He thought it was a great friggin' movie. TCM, I can see inspiration for. Oh yeah, there's quite a few others that are inspirations. We're gonna get into that here. Not only did the Manson family home movies inspire Rob Zombie, there are plenty of scenes where it goes back to like a flashback with Baby and Otis doing some family stuff, and there's some other family members in there. Those were a direct inspiration from the Manson family. The Manson family did have a hand cam recorder, and they recorded some of their family functions and things on film. And that is definitely a direct piece of inspiration from the Manson family movies. He was also inspired by John Wayne Gacy, the killer clown. Gacy ran multiple KFCs, and Spaulding runs a gas station selling fried chicken. His name comes from Groucho Marx's Animal Crackers from 1930, and other characters share Marx-inspired names. Spaulding claims he's been running his business since John Wayne won his Oscar in April of 1970, meaning he has been open for about 7.5 years by October 30th, 1977. If you have the same actors playing pretty much the same characters, it is a little more than inspiration. But what character... See, they're playing different characters. And the clown part comes from a totally different movie than what you're thinking of, Serial. Captain Spaulding was came from Animal Crackers, which is a Groucho Marx movie that came out in the 1930s. Manson videos were just people sitting around smoking drugs and sitting around. Then a bunch of him at the Beach Boys house making music. Yeah. There was some other ones where the family was doing other things in their home movies. There's a really good documentary on the Manson family that actually showcases not only Manson's music, but some of the family dynamics that you only get to see on video. Hello, Running Wolf 1980. Thank you so much for the follow over on YouTube. But that is that part. So we know that Captain Spaulding was inspired by John Wayne Gacy, which you can see. Captain Spaulding has fried chicken. Wayne Gacy ran multiple KFCs. Kind of creepy, hey? And his name does come from Groucho Marx's Animal Crackers from 1930. Dr. Satan. Now, we all know about Dr. Satan. And, you know, a lot of us wish there was more about Dr. Satan. And there would have been more about Dr. Satan. 30 minutes? Oh my God, 30 minutes. Jesus Christ. And I still have a ways to go. So Dr. Satan's name came from the 1950s spook show poster. His bone foyer was inspired by an ossuary near Prague, and he was played by Walter T. Fallon, who is also a special effects artist. So he was supposed to appear in The Devil's Rejects, but was later cut. The original 105-minute cut exists, allegedly. Zombie claims it's unavailable, though a director's cut was shown in the 2003 Argentinian Film Festival. So there is a 105-minute movie of House of a Thousand Corpses. And like I said, 89 minutes was removed from the original film. And those 89 minutes will showcase quite a few horrific scenes. And it definitely would not have gotten a rated R or an NC. It would have been a triple X, just because some of the scenes that were deleted I'll tell you some of those scenes that were deleted. Some of the known scenes which were left out of his director's cut included 4 teenagers on their road trip before they arrived at Captain Spaulding's gas station, and more characters which were cut out completely, including more scenes with Skunk Ape, who is only briefly glimpsed in the final film. In 2003, Zombie spoke about releasing some extended versions which would have deleted scenes, but that has not yet come about, which sucks. And we'll get into Toby Hooper and what he thought about the film. Now, like I said, it was cut because of the gore. And I'm just scrolling through here to find where I put the scenes. They were pretty graphic. Most of the cutaway scenes, Otis torturing cheerleaders and Baby masturbating with the skeleton, were filmed at Rob Zombie's basement. And of course, these were removed because it was masturbation with a skeleton hand, but full-on masturbation with it and with a full-on climax. That was removed. Which I gather I can see the MPAA not allowing that to be put in the film. Just because it's more sexual and necrophilia. But like I said, the family is necrophiliacs. It probably would have been on a video nasty list. Oh my God. Could you imagine if he would have kept that scene in there? Yeah, I don't think so. The MPAA clearly hasn't seen Necromantic. Right? So going back to what Serial was saying, with the characters, the same actors playing pretty much the same characters as little more than inspiration. Do you want to know where the names Otis B. Driftwood, Rufus T. Firefly, Hugo Z. Quackenbush, and S. Quentin Quayle, as well as Quincy Adams Wagstaff? All of those names come from Groucho Marx. They're all from Groucho movies. They're Groucho movie characters' names. Those are where Zombie came up with the names for the Firefly family. He filmed it for his own little sex cravings at home so he can watch them. Maybe. The director's cut, you get to see it, but it's like a short on a DVD. Yes. It would be very little bit to be seen, Neo. For sure. Now, the Munsters episode that you see is Hot Rod Herman, and that episode of the Munsters, Hot Rod Herman, also inspired Rob Zombie's song Dragula, because Grandpa Munster's vehicle was a Dragula, right? And you do get to see that movie, that episode in the Firefly home, because that is what they're watching on the TV. And that is definitely all to honor Groucho Marx, because he was a big fan of Groucho Marx. If you watched my Rob Zombie deep dive, you'd know this. You'd also know some of the movies that inspired him, which I spoke about in the Rob Zombie deep dive that inspired House of a Thousand Corpse. The end was like a punch in the face. The end, yeah. I watched 121 episodes of Lost, and then running time was 95 hours, which 3 days, 28 hours, and 47 minutes. Wow. And by the end of it, I felt the whole thing was a waste of time. That sucks, Slipknot. 100%. Hi, Patrick. How are you? Hi, Trini. How are you? I did not care for the Munsters remake. Neo, we were discussing the Munsters remake earlier in the stream. I wasn't a fan of it. It was all right. I watched it once. It's a one and done film for me, and I won't rewatch it again. There's no point. But in the movie House of a Thousand Corpse, the Firefly family is watching the Munsters, Hot Rod Herman, in there. Now, there's a fictional character inside the House of a Thousand Corpse. The fictional Dr. Wolfenstein's creature feature show features clips from movies that he also inspired this movie: The Old Dark House, 1932, The Wolfman, 1941, and House of Frankenstein in 1944. Aleister Crowley's voice appears during the burial scene, repeating, "Bury me in a nameless grave." And inside Spaulding Station are Crowley demon painting reproductions, which if you go back and watch, pause the movie, you'll get to see them there. Aleister Crowley, does anybody know who Aleister Crowley is? How are you doing, Patrick? How is your weekend going? How is your weekend going, Neo? Since I didn't get to chit chat with you beforehand. So one person knows who, two people know who Aleister Crowley is. Creature from the Black Lagoon also has a mask in the movie. Creature from the Black Lagoon also has a poster in the background. That is a reproduction of the original poster in Sherry Moon's in Baby Firefly's bedroom. There is a lot of horror memorabilia throughout the Firefly house that includes from Rob Zombie's own collection, as well as Universal Studios putting their stuff inside the movie. Yes, he did. 100%. Church of Satan. I think, did he create the Dark Bible? I know him from the song. Good. I'm being lazy and having coffee. All right. So Aleister Crowley is an English occultist. He is a ceremonial magician, a poet, a novelist, a mountaineer, and a painter. He founded the religion of Thelma, identifying himself as the prophet entrusted with guiding humanity into the Aeon of Horus in the early 20th century. That is who Aleister Crowley is. And the Church of Satan is a different guy altogether. But that is what he is known for. Now, I think, Neo, you're thinking of Anton LaVey. Anton LaVey is the Church of Satan. Yeah, the Lema, or however it is spelled. Thelema, Thelema, Thelema. is what Aleister Crowley was about. I wasn't sure how many people knew of Aleister Crowley, so I figured I would throw that in there because I'm going to say the majority of you had no idea who Aleister Crowley actually was. So there you go. You learned something new today. Now, Rob Zombie ran out of money before the finale of the film, and he didn't want cast and crew to know that he had no money. So he actually tricked Universal into giving him more money. So what happened is Zombie went to Universal, showed Universal the unfinished ending, which was crap. Rob Zombie still didn't care for the ending in House of a Thousand Corpses either. However, the ending that they had was worse. And he brought that to Universal and said, look, this is the unfinished ending and we are screwed because we're not sure what else we can do with it. Universal said, not a problem. Here's some more money. And that is how Rob Zombie got the rest of the money to finish the film and pay his cast and crew. Captain Spaulding was amazing in the movie. Yeah, Leviathan. Sid Haig did an amazing job as Captain Spaulding, but this wasn't Sid Haig's only role as a demented person. He actually played a big role and a figure in the movie Spider Baby, which is very similar to the role that he did in House of a Thousand Corpses. But Spider Baby is more cannibal than necrophilia. But usually necrophilia and cannibalism go hand in hand for the most part. I tried to get into Breaking Bad. All right, guys, we have an ad happening over on Twitch, so you know what that means. I'm able to go off the rails and do a little chit-chats about other things other than House of a Thousand Corpses because I don't like putting it behind a paywall. Yeah, 3 from Hell. I want to love 3 from Hell, but I don't love it. I don't. He looked demented. He was perfect. Oh, for sure. You can tell that the makeup was inspired by John Wayne Gacy. The entire Captain Spaulding, except for the name, the entire character of Captain Spaulding was inspired by John Wayne Gacy. And we know this because Rob Zombie. Second, we know this because John Wayne Gacy was the serial killer who killed 33 young men dressed up as, and he would dress up as Bozo the Clown. He dressed up as a clown that was very similar looks, very similar eye makeup look to Captain Spaulding. John Wayne Gacy also ran several KFCs, which we all know, Kentucky Fried Chicken. We know Captain Spaulding made fried chicken at his gas station. Let's chat about how Joe is beating me up because he's an asshole. I wouldn't say he's the asshole. You're the one who's forcing him to cause you pain. Off the rails, no comment. He does look demented, definitely. Hi, Rise Metal, how are you? Yeah, I think it's a really good role for Sid. But like I said again, Sid, this wasn't Sid's only role ever playing a demented figure. Spider Baby, which I'm going to recommend everybody to watch. I think we're gonna do a Spider Baby watching in the Discord. I'm an idiot. I'm really serial. What do we say? People who like pain, masochists? Is that what that is? But with grading, yeah. Doesn't mean I can't complain. Oh, you can complain away. Go for it. Yeah, he was a nice guy. It is really sad that he passed away. Oh, I'll wait for the ad to come back. But we were going to talk about Tobe Hooper here. That'll be the next few little bits that we're going to talk about. Yeah. All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm good. Nice. I'm good, Rise. I'm kind of losing my voice. I'm not sick or anything. I don't know what the hell is going on, but I've been losing my voice for over a week now. Hello, Monkey. How are you? Okay. Welcome back to Coffee Chat of Horrors. Okay, so we were at the part where Zombie ran out of money. He tricked Universal into giving him more money to finish the movie. Jake McKinnon. Now, do you guys know? Okay, so Jake McKinnon played Earl Firefly. Now, do you guys remember who Earl Firefly is? If not, Earl Firefly is the nasty, hulking beast that's in the underground, whatever the hell you want to call it. So when they get lowered into the grave, there are these tunnels, and then there's this waiting room, and then there's this operation table, and there's this big, hulking, nasty, oozing beast creature down there. Okay. That beast creature is Earl Firefly, one of the family members. And Jake McKinnon had to chase Erin Daniels, who is playing the character Denise, with a real axe. And he was barely able to see. The axe that he was using was real. And he had to chase her. And he had all these like goggles and things on his eyes. It was just disgusting. He was slimy. That you can thank KY Jelly for that one. And he's running after her, barely able to see, and trying to kill her in the movie. Okay, what did you say? Cut it off if you were talking to me. I don't know. What did I say, Nia? What was I saying? She heard her throat testing her gag reflex. No. He looks like the Nemesis. Yeah, he does look like Nemesis. He's nasty. That guy, the nasty where he takes off his like respirator or whatever the hell that is, and it's like spewing this sludge. He kind of looks like a German experiment gone wrong. Earl Firefly. But that's who that is. Otis holds a gun to Officer Nash's head for 26 seconds before firing. Intentionally brutal pacing. There is one of my favorite scenes that happen in House of a Thousand Corpses is when the cavalry comes in and they go and get the house. You know, has the girl's father. We have the police officers, right? They're there. And of course they get ambushed. The police officers, they get ambushed. And they're in the yard of the Firefly family. And the drone pulls away. And you get to see the entire compound of the Firefly family outside house. And the police officer is on the ground on his knees. And Otis Driftwood is holding the gun to him like this. So Otis is standing up. The gun is on an angle. There is a scene. He purposely did that scene. It's 26 seconds before he actually pulls the trigger. And that scene is so strong and so filled with tension. You feel it as someone sitting down and watching. It's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. I love the way it looked. I love how he did it. And it was done like that on purpose to bring in that tension. It's a very memorable scene. Even if you didn't see the movie a lot, you definitely remember that scene. Oh yeah, Neo. Sid did great. I mean, he was sick, but he did great regardless. Yeah, that silent scene where the drone pulls back. It's one of my favorite friggin' scenes in that movie. Now, in House of a Thousand Corpses, you guys remember in the beginning, where they're being robbed, right? The two guys come in and they're robbing the gas station. Now, there's a little confusion there because we were like, why is this guy just come barging in out of nowhere? And there was supposed to be a scene there where Sid, you see him press a panic button. And that panic button tells Ravelli to enter the scene and, attack. That was actually cut. And so there's no real explanation as to why he comes flying out of the back room. Did you guys remember that, where he comes flying out? But that scene was cut. There's a panic scene, panic button, where Captain Spaulding presses it. Rob. Oh yeah, Rob loves his wife, 100%, Neo. LOL, the F your mom, your grandmother, your sister, and most of all, F you. Yeah, that scene. Yep. That's the scene when they're robbing the gas station. So, as of 2021, many cast members have passed, including Karen Black, Sid Haig, Tom Towles, Dennis Fimple, Erwin Keyes, Matthew McCrory, and Michael J. Pollard. Just quite sad to know. It's a lot of people in one movie passing away. You say that daily. Right? Despite its cult status, Rob Zombie hates the film, calling it a calamitous mess, is what Rob Zombie calls it. Universal eventually embraced it, turning it into a Halloween horror night maze in 2010 and in 2019. Tobe Hooper was a huge fan of House of a Thousand Corpses and later casted Sherry Moon Zombie in the Toolbox Murders in 2004. Sherry Moon did turn down the role, but she ended up taking it later on. She did not want to be an actress, but she did take it later on because Tobe and Zombie were really good friends. And so she plays in Tobe Hooper's Toolbox Murders. Tobe Hooper loved House of a Thousand Corpses. There was a lot that he liked about it. House of a Thousand Corpses is messy, it's mean, it's chaotic, and completely unapologetic. It's a film that shouldn't exist and somehow couldn't be stopped. Next Sunday, we're shifting gears and diving into a director whose work haunted your childhood in a very different way. Join me as we deep dive Tommy Lee Wallace, the mind behind Halloween 3, Fright Night Part 2, and some of horror's most misunderstood nightmares. Until then, keep the coffee hot and the horror closer. And that is Coffee Chat of Horrors. I think I did it on time. Did I do it on time? Let me take a looky look. I did. Hello, Dead Mom. How are you, darling? How are you? Welcome in. Welcome in. Sweet titties. Stay tapping. What's shaking? I have been trying to get CCOH to stay on point for an hour. And I think I have gotten it down. He made his money off of it, though. Yeah, for sure he did. I love the X-Files. Heavy and I are actually rewatching X-Files. Dang it, I missed it. I just woke up not too long ago. No worries, Dead Mom. You can watch it on VOD. If you missed anything of Coffee Chat of Horrors, you can catch the entire VOD on Rumble. You can catch it on YouTube. Those are the two spots that I would tell you to check it out on. Hello, Regal. Hello, Regal. Thank you for your 220 stream streak. My God, woman. Thank you so very much. I greatly, greatly appreciate that. I'm old. The Hills Have Eyes was my first crazy movie. That's cool. Hills Have Eyes is a good movie. The original, they did do a remake, which isn't horrible. It isn't horrible by any means. Did you know that Wes Craven pulled inspiration from a Scottish family, the Bean family, who were a cannibal tribe? This family had over 40-something people in it. Yeah. And they're in the Scottish history where the Sawney Bean family, that is where Wes Craven pulled inspiration of The Hills Have Eyes. I did a deep dive on Wes Craven. If anyone is actually interested in it, you can check it out in the links that are pinned to the chat. There are link pinned to the chat. That is my Coffee Chat of Horrors playlist. It is every movie, interview, and director that I have deep dived. If you want to go and check it out, we've done movies like TerraVision, Wes Craven, deep dive into William Castle, So many amazing films and directors and creators that I actually deep dove. Same with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, another one that warped me. I think that messed up a lot of us. Yeah, you did a Rumble Premium deep dive on that family. That I did. That I did. I'm old. I grew up on Hammer House horror films, but you also grew up in the UK, where in here would be Universal. But yeah, Reaper, Hammer House horror, 100%. I hope you're doing good, Reegs. Rod, just letting you know that if anyone wants to host House of a Thousand Corpses, please do. I can showcase it if you guys want, if you haven't seen it. Sorry that I scared you before sleep. Oh, crap. I didn't realize this was a different account. What do you mean? What do you mean? I have my channel, Coffee Chat of Horrors. So I have 2 channels on Rumble. ReAnimateHer, which is strictly my gameplay and fun game stuff. And then Coffee Chat of Horrors. Yeah. So if you want to follow Coffee Chat of Horrors channel, please do so. Please do so. Feel free to follow my CCOH. My Coffee Chat of Horrors channel is all going to be CCOH on Rumble. I separate my horror movie discussions from my horror games, just so it's easier. But I appreciate it, Dead Mom. I appreciate it. I thank you for the follow over there. Your room looks so good, by the way. My eyes immediately went to your Camp Crystal Lake sign. If you guys, I don't know if I have OBS Droid here. Oh, I do. You know what? Give me a second. You guys want to see my room? I just redid it. Ra doesn't just talk about those mainstream horrors that everyone talks about. Ra goes deep and digs up all those hidden gems. I do. I don't really do a lot of mainstream horror because everybody has done Nightmare on Elm Street. Everybody does Friday the 13th. I prefer to do films that are a bit different, less mainstream, personally, because they're awesome. Hold on, let me see if I can get this set up and I'll show you guys I know you love that sign and I appreciate that sign. Yeah, don't forget to like, repost, and comment, guys. Definitely fucking do all the things. Do all the things. Okay, let me see if I can get to, let's deactivate this. Let me get the Wi-Fi IP up here and I'll show you guys my room. All right, let's see. Let's see. Will you activate or will you not activate? That is the question. There is an ad. Nice. I'm glad I stumbled across you. Well, Patrick, I'm glad you stumbled across us as well. Welcome in. Thanks, Ra. I have decided to have this Sunday off. Awesome, Darkbreaker. What is going on here? Okay, so it doesn't want to pick it up. All right. Well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you guys my room. I'll have to show it to you probably next on Monday. I'm going to try to do it again and see if we can get it to go. But I did oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Give me a second. Let me get it to open up completely. For whatever reason, I cannot get it to 1920 by 1080. Hold on, there we go. 1920 by 1080. Ooh! Hi, Taishi. How are you? Welcome in. Welcome in. I'm rusty. Hold up, hold up. Why is Reeg rusty? I'm rusty because I'm not always here 100%. I know you do, Reegs, but we still love you. I love when you come over here. It's looking fantastic. Thank you, Darkbreaker. No audio. What do you mean no audio? Not those POS that don't treat you right? Thank you, Arthur. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. The room is not done yet, believe it or not. I still have more to put out. I still have more to put out. I have to put up my new curtains, which you just saw was really horrible. I have to put up my curtain rod, my curtains. I need 2 more lights behind me. I need to get more picture frames to put up my pictures. I've got a lot of signed work, a lot of signed pictures, so those still have to go up. My vinyl records still have to go up on the wall. I still have more shit to come out. We're gonna get, you've seen my desk that I panned over and you saw all my NECA action figures. I'm getting a shelving unit put there so I can put out more of my masks because a lot of my masks are not out. Still more of my Living Dead dolls. I have a crap ton. I have like about 100 or so, 200 Living Dead dolls that have to be put out still. I don't think they're going to be going in this room. So the more of my collection is throughout my house. So my living room is filled with my collection and also Heavy's collection. My hallway will be done as well. That's where we're going to put out some of our albums, some of our records. I have Elvira, Tales from the Crypt, Texas Chainsaw Massacre soundtrack on vinyl, Friday the 13th on vinyl. I've got a whole bunch of friggin' stuff that I need to still put out. You do custom clown art. Right on, Taishi. Right on. That's awesome. Thank you very much, Rise. That is the best room ever decorated by a woman. I'm a fan. Well, thank you, Patrick. I appreciate it. I love it. Your spot is dope. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love horror. I mean, shit, I've been collecting for over 30 years. So you can just imagine the amount of shit I have that is still not out. I still have stuff in my storage unit, and I have a crap ton of Living Dead dolls because I used to collect Living Dead dolls like nobody's friggin' business. And so I still have a shit ton of dolls that still have to come out. I have all of the fashion victims from the Living Dead doll collection as well. I just don't have any place to put them. Thank you, Slipknot. At the toll of the funeral bell, the time will now be 12:33. Yes, limbs are raining on top of me. Pour some limbs on me. I should get Pixie's husband-shaped object to do me a short version of Pour Some Limbs on Me. I have a few Living Dead dolls as well, but I've seen your collection. You have lots. Oh, Basement Cat. Even in my old place, I still had Living Dead dolls in boxes in storage. That will tell you how many Living Dead dolls I have that you haven't even seen my entire collection. I have, and in my living room, one of these days, maybe Monday, I will take you guys on a tour of my house. I will show you my living room, my coffin table. I have a coffin that's, it's a coffee table, but it's a full-size working coffin. It was actually meant for a regular coffin just to hang out in, but we turned it into a coffee table instead. Ra, any updates on the specs of your motherboard? Oh shit, Darkbreaker, I completely forgot to get that for you. I will let you know what it is. So we can do, I need my room decorated ASAP. I like decorating. You know, I sat here for a little bit thinking what the fuck I was going to do with my stuff behind me before I was actually able to set it all up. I sat here and thinking, okay, I need my Friday the 13th stuff to be up front and center. Not all of my Friday the 13th stuff because some of it's in my living room. A lot of my collection is separated throughout my house. Yes, Reeg's Funko Pop collection is out of control. Oh, you guys, I didn't show you my... I don't think I showed you this side of my room. All right, I'll show you guys tomorrow, but I have Return of the Living Dead and my other Funko Pops. I don't think I showed you this side of the room. Because, yeah, I just forgot. It's okay. You have stuff. I know. I always have stuff going on. Although it might be a silent tour if keeps training. Yeah, if I keep straining my voice, it will be. All right, let's get into our credits, guys. I have all my shit on the floor right now and mess everywhere because I'm making a new console display. I know, yeah, your room is trashed. I saw what your room looked like. I know you're working on it because I should grab my consoles from storage. I have a shit ton of consoles, but I don't have any. I have no place to put them. They're in storage. They're in a box in storage with all my games too, because I have PlayStation, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Japanese PlayStation, PlayStation 4. There's a Coleco and Atari. Riggs, thank you so much for sacrificing your soul with your Amazon Prime Gaming. I thank you for that. 61 friggin' months. Thank you. Mwah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I saw the Nintendo colored Freddy and Jason. Yes, I do. I have both of them up there, and one over here. I have the NES Jason. I have Hammer Horror of Dracula, which is Peter Cushing's and Christopher Lee. I have that action figure, Van Helsing action figure. They Live. Yeah, you know, all the fun stuff. How much do I want for the consoles? Oh, I couldn't even tell you. Oh my God, they're consoles that I have owned. They were mine. I didn't buy them from somebody. The PlayStation was bought brand new back in the day when PlayStation first came out. Those are like my own personal consoles. I did not buy them from somebody because I was collecting them. I just don't get rid of shit because I'm a hoarder. Thank you so much for thank you so much for being here. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I hope you guys enjoyed today's Coffee Chat of Horrors. Don't forget, next Sunday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, we're going to be deep diving Tommy Lee Wallace. You're not going to want to miss it, especially if you don't know who Tommy Lee Wallace is. You're going to want to be here to catch that. We will be live tomorrow. We are going to be starting Silent Hill F. We're going to be starting our story mode game on Monday. So Silent Hill F is what we're going to be doing on Monday. We will be live at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. The next time that I am live over on YouTube will be Tuesday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. Also, next week, YouTube is getting a YouTube only stream, which will be in the morning, and it will be horror news recap of the week. So if you are around, you'll be able to catch my YouTube only stream in the morning on Wednesday. It sounded like a good number, $20,000. $20,000 is not bad, not at all. But thank you guys so much for being here. Nice win, Darkbreaker. GG's. We will be live, like I said, Monday at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. You guys are more than welcome to join me. We will be playing Silent Hill F. That is the start of our story mode. Tuesday will be Diablo. Wednesday will be Diablo. And then we're going to dive into some Dead by Daylight as well as the PTB because I'm really enjoying the 2v8. But have a great rest of your weekend, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I am very honored you guys wanted to spend your time with me on a Sunday. Mwah. I love your guts and have a great rest of your day. Bye.